If you clicked on this video because it triggered you and you are ready to go on those comments and rip me a new one or tell me how wrong I am, welcome. Don't worry, this video is not to convince you of how you need to forgive the narcissist or the person that's hurt you the most. I wouldn't do that. I don't like being told what to do, and I don't think anyone should tell you what you should do or if you should forgive somebody. That's not what this video is about. This video is just to talk about what forgiveness really is, and in this video we'll talk about how to let them go so they're not so much stuck in your head and you don't get triggered every time you think about them and it causes you to go back to that dark place. So put your pitchforks down and take a seat and let's go into today's video. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and if you're new here, welcome. I am a life and relationship coach, and on this channel we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you could be one of the first ones here. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about what forgiveness actually is and the mistakes people make when it comes to forgiveness and how to let a person go, whether you forgive them or not. So forgiveness is something that is misunderstood and misconstrued from the time you're young. So for instance, like let's say your brother hits you and you and your brother are fighting and your mom's like, go forgive your brother, just go play. So what that does is that teaches you to forgive and forget. That means like you don't hold the person accountable. I guess nothing really happens. Like you have to go play with your brother. Nothing came about it. So little instances happen like that, which then people think forgiveness is letting it go, just letting them continue to do what they're doing, and you have to just welcome them back into your life. So people interpret this as forgive and forget. So that's why a lot of times if you are in an abusive relationship or a narcissistic relationship, you will forgive the narcissist and then they'll wind up just hurting you again, abusing you again, because you are using the incorrect version of forgiveness. And it is then putting you in compromising situations where you're getting abused again and again. You're just making excuses for them at that point. So going back to the definition that a lot of us learn when we're young is that it's viewed that you're accepting their behavior, you're supposed to just allow it and you're supposed to forget it. So it feels like you're letting them off the hook and you're excusing the behavior. That's why you'll hear people say, or maybe you've even felt that way of like, this person does not deserve my forgiveness. But really the way that we're taught about forgiveness is completely wrong, because yeah, people do what's seen as unforgivable things where it shouldn't be tolerated or accepted, but forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Think about it. At the end of the day, when you go to sleep at night, who feels that pain? Who feels that anger? Not them. They go to sleep happy, like they did their job. They got in your head. So when you hold on to that, it just hardens your heart. They become stuck in your head. You feel that pain constantly. So every time you remember something, it brings you back to that place. Your brain does not know the difference between past, present, and future, or reality and imagination. So when you are remembering things, you are back in that place all over again. So it keeps you stuck in this place of being abused over and over again, being traumatized over and over again. You aren't around them, but they still have a hold of you. So this then causes you to maybe avoid certain places because you get flashbacks. Maybe you can't hear certain songs because it brings you back to a certain memory where they hurt you during that song. Maybe you can't say certain words because they would scream at you if you said certain things. You may even get to a place where you don't recognize yourself at all because you've completely molded yourself into a person that they wanted you to be just so you wouldn't have to suffer the abuse. All of that is so unfair. So when you go to these moments and you feel that anger, you feel that sadness, you feel frustrated because like, this is not fair. They did bad things and they were not held accountable. They're just living their life. They're getting their new supplier. They're just pretending like it didn't happen. It's not fair. And that's one of the biggest reasons why it's hard to forgive someone that doesn't deserve forgiveness, or you can't let it go, is because you didn't get acknowledgement. I'm sorry has become the term of I'm acknowledging that I've wronged you. Abuse victims never get that genuine apology. Abuse victims have never gotten that acknowledgement. So why forgive them? So let's switch up the term. Let's say it's not forgiveness, because forgiveness can be something that's triggering to people, whatever you want to call it. Let's switch it to being at peace. So how do you be at peace with yourself? How do you let this go? Let's talk about what forgiveness actually means. First thing is, you never have to forget what someone did to you. You should remember everything someone has done to you. That's super important to not necessarily keep tabs, but you want to remember how this person made you feel. So if you were to give them another chance, or it also helps you to kind of gauge if they deserve another chance, you have that. You should never forget what someone does. You not forgetting helps you to realize who is worth letting back in your life, or who's worth getting that chance. So only people that are genuinely sorry and that they're actually changing are deserving a place in your life. Narcissists don't deserve a place in your life because they are not people that can actually change, and they are not people that can actually self-reflect and feel sorry. And also, that person doesn't have to be in your life. That's another misconception about forgiveness, is people think like, oh, I'm supposed to have them in my life. That happens a lot, especially with parents. Like, people around you be like, oh, you should forgive your mom. You know, she's doing the best she can. You know, let her back into your life. What they don't understand is you could be forgiving your mom, but that doesn't mean she deserves a place in your life. The whole point of forgiveness, or whatever you want to call it, if you don't want to call it forgiveness, maybe you'll call it being at peace. The whole point of that is so that person doesn't hold a place in your heart or your head anymore, and you can let it go. But a lot of people don't know how to get to that point. So how do you get to that point? Well, the first thing is that you have to acknowledge your emotions. You have to acknowledge your feelings. You have to hold them accountable. You have to say, they did this and it was wrong. They made me feel this way. They took something from me. They made me see the world completely different. They took my innocence away. There is no excuse for their behavior. It doesn't matter if they went through a terrible childhood or they were ran over by a car. It doesn't matter what they've been through. What happens to you is not your fault. What happens after is your responsibility. How you deal with that is your responsibility. So if they choose to stay in a victim mentality and use that as a weapon to hurt people, that's their issue. There's no excuse for that. You can't blame your parents or the person that's hurt you forever. There has to be a point where you're like, okay, I know this hurt me and what they did was wrong. What can I do about it? How do I cope with this pain now? So feel your emotions, feel the hurt, feel the pain, feel the anger, which is another video I'll make in the future of how anger is important in a healing process, but it's super important to hold people accountable. So you need to feel all of those emotions. It can help you to visualize this person and express all of the pain they've caused you. Or you can write it on a piece of paper expressing all of the pain that they've caused you and how frustrating it is. And you need to make sure that you don't make any excuses. Say, I feel this way and I am allowed to feel this way. They did this. If you want to feel it for a day, feel it for a day. If you want to feel it for a few days, feel it for a few days. You are the one who gauges how long you want to sit with these emotions, how long you need. Maybe you need to just do a huge cry and then you feel better. Maybe you need to have a huge anger attack and just scream and then you're able to feel better. You're the one who gauges how long you want to feel a certain way. Just remember, the longer you sit in those feelings, the longer they stay inside of your head. Studies show that people that hold on to pain or don't let go or don't forgive are more prone to disease. It affects your physical health. Another component of being able to be at peace and forgive is to forgive yourself. A lot of times when people deal with abusive people or they are in situations that they wish they never were in, they feel a lot of shame. They have a lot of self-blame. They feel terrible. They have a lot of thoughts of like, I should have known better. Why didn't I see the signs? Why did I let this happen? There's a lot of anger towards yourself. You need to forgive yourself and let yourself know you did the best you could with what you had. You didn't know any better. It's not your fault that you were taken advantage of. So rather than internalizing and blaming yourself, allow yourself that compassion and that forgiveness of not knowing any better or not knowing that that was going to happen. And then the next thing is that you need to choose to be at peace and let it go. Like I had mentioned before, a lot of times we have a hard time letting things go is because we didn't get acknowledgement. You can give yourself the acknowledgement. You can visualize them telling you the things you wish you would have heard, like I'm sorry, or saying they shouldn't have done those things, or taking ownership. Or you can have them write a letter to you taking ownership. When you feel like you have that acknowledgement, it's a lot easier to let things go. So give yourself that acknowledgement. And then after that, the choice is yours. Do you choose to let this harbor inside of you? Or do you choose to allow it to just go away? Not forget it, but allow it to just go away. By you choosing peace and you choosing to let it go, you're putting yourself first for the first time. You are not allowing them to have a place in your heart or your head anymore. They've already taken too much of your time. The person that matters the most is you and the love you have for yourself. So you can take a deep breath. Imagine all the bad things this person has done and take a deep breath, letting it all out. Imagine it all leaving your body, all of it, all the pain, all of the anger, all of the sadness. And say, I choose to let it go. I choose to live free from this pain. I do not forget, but I choose myself. So if a memory pops up or an angry feeling pops up, you can acknowledge it and you can validate that feeling and allow yourself to feel it. And then afterwards you can say, I'm going to release this. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to let it harbor a place in my head and my heart anymore. I choose me. I choose peace. And over time, little by little, it will get easier and easier because you won't be holding on to that resentment and that anger anymore. You will choose yourself and you will make moves towards the things that you want in your life, rather than focusing on the pains. But it's super important not to have a negative reaction when these thoughts pop up, like, oh, go away, or I don't want to deal with this, because then your brain will reinforce it over and over again. Our brain doesn't like discomfort. It wants to deal with it. So deal with it. Allow it to come, allow yourself to feel it, and then allow yourself to let it float away. And eventually, like I said, these thoughts won't come anymore as often. You'll just remember that this person did this terrible thing, but it doesn't hold a place inside your heart anymore. So if forgiveness is a trigger word, fine. Don't forgive your narcissist, or don't forgive the person that's hurt you. Change it to, I remember what happened, but I choose to be at peace. I hope this video helps you guys to see forgiveness in a different way, or whatever word you choose, be at peace, letting go. But I hope this video helps so this person does not hold a place in your heart and head anymore. So what do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. It's like, damn right, don't tell me who to forgive. I don't tell you what to do. I don't come in your home and tell you what to do. I wouldn't do that either. God damn it, Bo. Like the famous Lauren Conrad says, I want to forgive you and I want to forget you. Iconic. That is the proper way to deal with forgiveness. Oh wait, no, that's not the proper way to deal with forgiveness.